What's up, guys? Megan here with WeRempowerment, and today I wanted to kind of talk about how to break your habits or addictions with mindfulness. Now, this is something that I have been able to do over the years. I've practiced for the last 3 years now, and I just kind of wanted to share this because if you're struggling, maybe you're a smoker or a drinker, or you like to eat and munch throughout the day, and maybe you want to stop doing that, whatever the case may be. I just want to kind of share some of my tips and what I've learned and how to stop those cravings from coming. I actually used to be a really heavy smoker. I used to be a drinker. I used to be on drugs. I used to do all of it, and I don't crave it at all anymore. And so if you are interested in this content and you want some more of this, just hit the subscribe button for me and click the little bell. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing that we need to understand is that when we're trying to break a habit, we need to understand that our thoughts are the problem. Our thoughts about let's just use smoking as an example. Our thoughts about cigarettes are the problem. The craving for a cigarette is an emotion. Now, what we need to do is cut that emotion out. How do we do that? By observing our thoughts. Every time we have that thought of wanting a cigarette, observe that thought and do your best to try to maintain and control that craving. If you have a craving for a cigarette, I believe that you don't need to quit smoking right away. I believe that if you have a craving for a cigarette, just keep smoking, but just observe that you keep having these thoughts that you think that you need cigarettes to survive, because you don't need cigarettes. So the first thing that you want to do, like I said, is to observe your thoughts. The second thing that you want to do is change your belief systems about cigarettes. Do you think right now that you need smoking to survive? Do you think that you need to drink in order to feel happy? If you believe that, then you're going to continue to want it. I used to believe that I had pain in my pain in my feet. I've disidentified from the pain now. There's still pain that arises, but it's not consistent anymore. But because I used to identify with my pain so much, I felt like I needed medication to resolve that pain. But because I don't identify with the pain when it comes up anymore, it's dissolved to a point where I don't really have a lot of it anymore. And I don't need something to fulfill that. I'm able to just observe it and let it pass by. You just want to change your belief systems about what your relationship is with smoking or drinking. That doesn't mean quit smoking. It doesn't mean quit drinking. But the more that you do this, the more that you're going to start to feel like you don't want this stuff. I used to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. And as time went on, I kept smoking, but I kept telling myself, gosh, I hate smoking. Gosh, I hate smoking. No, but even though like back in the day, I secretly loved it. I secretly had, like, for whatever reason, a relationship with cigarettes where I really liked and enjoyed smoking, even though it was terrible for me. You know, it was not something that was good. But I started to tell myself a different story. I started to tell myself how much I hated smoking, how much I hated drinking, how much I felt like it dragged me down and just made me lazy and so not productive. And over time, I gradually just didn't need it anymore. So change your belief systems. Everything can go back to that one thing. If there's one thing that I can teach you from this video, is to change your belief systems about what you believe and who you believe you are. So every time that you get a craving, which is an emotion, like I said, every time you get that emotion, you want to observe that emotion. So you might get like this anxiety that if I don't have a cigarette right now, I'm going to freak out. Observe it and let it flow through your chakras. If you just let it flow out of you, that energy is gone. And the more you do it, the more that you're going to start to kind of detox and feel like you just don't need it to survive. Okay. Every time a craving comes up, bring it back to the present moment. If you have an intense emotion, you want to observe the emotion. If you have an intense thought, you want to shift that thought back to the present moment. And the more that you shift it back to the present moment, the more that you're going to find yourself in the presence for longer and longer periods of time, to the point where you're not even thinking about any kind of addiction. Okay. Now, this is how I overcame a lot of my addictions. Like I said, guys, I used to smoke like a pack and a half a day of cigarettes. I used to drink all the time. I used to take, I'd say like 4 to 6 Lortabs a day. Like I was a mess, and I'm just not like that anymore. And I really hope that this helps. And if you're struggling with addiction, and maybe this isn't for you, maybe you need to go see a professional that can help you maybe work out some other issues in other areas of your life that might help you stay sober and stay present. And maybe this isn't the answer for you, but it's what worked for me. So I hope that this video helped you guys. And if you did, give me a thumbs up and let me know. And I will try to make some more content on this in a little more detail, just kind of a short video today. All right, guys. I will talk to you soon. One love. Peace.